Hello everyone, welcome back to Armchair Armoury with me, Deepai. So for an Arsenal fan, these two fixtures, the home and away fixture against Tottenham Hotspur, are the biggest in the Premier League calendar. And if we play them in the Europa League, being that we get past Olympiacos, that will be the same as well. Like I've said over the past few weeks, that like our league position probably isn't going to change too much. I think the highest we can finish, according to statistics, according to probability, is probably 9th. So in terms of like us getting into Europe next season via the league, that's not going to happen. But beating Spurs as an Arsenal fan, and it's the same as a Tottenham fan beating Arsenal, like it is a big thing. Like you enjoy. It's a victory that you enjoy. I was in Thailand in Unai Emery's first season when we beat Tottenham at the Emirates 4-2, and I was on my honeymoon actually, and I couldn't keep my excitement in. Like I'm in the middle of this Thai bar in Phuket, and I'm watching this game, and I think we went 2-1 down at one point, and then Aubameyang equalised, and Lacazette then scored, and then Torreira scored, and then it was kind of like when Torreira scored, I was just like euphoric, and I think there was a couple of German guys sat next to me, and they were like, "Oh, we can tell you're an Arsenal fan." I was like, "This Spurs, beating Spurs is like massive." So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game. Spurs seem to be back in having a little bit of confidence. They beat Dynamo Zagreb on Thursday in the Europa League, and their last game in the Premier League was a 4-1 win against Crystal Palace. They've won their last 3 in the Premier League. So they beat Burnley 4-0, they beat Fulham 1-0, and obviously Crystal Palace 4-1. So they've had a couple of high scoring games as well. So, and obviously we've come off the back of a drawing with Burnley. We obviously had that great win against Leicester. So, and obviously we've had a decent result against Olympiacos. So I think it's perfectly poised. I was thinking when Tottenham had played, who was it? When they lost to West Ham and then they'd lost to Manchester City, I thought, oh yeah, this is a perfect time to play them. But it turns out that's not the case, being that they've won 3 in their last 5. So it's going to be interesting. Harry Kane always scores against us, whether it be a penalty or whether it be some sort of the ritual that he does. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. But I feel like if Arteta can get this win, he'll win a few of the fans back on side, I believe. So far, we lost 2-0 in December at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I don't really remember too much about that game, to be honest. I just remember a lot of people were angry because it just felt as if, like, I think, like, for example, that was if I remember correctly, in kind of like, famous social media influencer territory, I think that was the day where Troop first said Arteta out. That was the first time that I remember seeing him saying, "Oh yeah, Arteta out. He signed Cedric, he signed Pablo Mari, etc., etc." But I suppose if that was going to turn you, losing 2-0 away to Tottenham would probably do that. Because from what I remember, it wasn't a great performance. I think the lineup that he picked was wrong that day, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think that was that was when Partey was injured, and he pushed him back on the pitch and all this kind of stuff. And this was when kind of Willian was at his worst, and Aubameyang wasn't scoring. I mean, he still isn't that much now, but he wasn't scoring. Yeah, it wasn't a great day in terms of North London derbies. And to be fair, over the past couple of years, I think Tottenham have had the wind over us, to be fair. I'm just trying to find what the last couple of results were. I should have really had this all prepared beforehand, but so in May 2018, when Wenger left, if we go by that, it means that Unai Emery beat Tottenham in that 4-2. 4-2 4-2 win that I described, the one I watched in Thailand. We drew with them at the start of the 1920 season, and then draw again at Wembley in March under Unai Emery, and we lost the last two under Mikel Arteta. So this will be the first one at home, I think, because I think Emery's managed more North London derbies than Arteta has. So I think he's only managed the last two that were away. So the one at the end of 2020, the 2020 season. I mean, it's hard for me to follow it properly because of the fact that COVID's just messed everything up. Because all the fixtures are all over the place. And then the 2020-2021 season was the last time we lost. So the last two North London derbies we've lost, basically, both of them away from home. So this will be Mikel Arteta's it will be his first home North London derby. And what a way to get off the mark. We do need a win just for pride, and that's the thing. Beating Tottenham is everything to us Arsenal fans. For me personally, beating Tottenham and beating Man United are the two biggest games for me, and I think that's partly because I became an Arsenal fan in 1997, and before I really understood the kind of concept of the North London derby, it was more because we were rivals with Manchester United at the time, and beating Man United was like massive. I remember the 2002 when Sylvain Wiltord scored at Old Trafford, and I was like off the sofa running around the house. But this is a big game if you're an Arsenal fan, put it that way. And so what a way to get off the mark. In terms of prediction, so my simulation of Arsenal Tottenham it was spoiler alert, it was 0-0 until like the 75th minute, and I know that doesn't mean anything because it's only 5 minutes a half on FIFA, but and then they got a penalty which Harry Kane scored, and then Dele Alli scored, I think, like 5 or 6 minutes later, so it was 2-0 to Tottenham going into the final minutes, and then Aubameyang pulled one back in like the 95th minute, and by that point there's no chance of me getting back into the game. So the simulation, and whether that's because, as I've said before, I'm sure it's FIFA, I don't know, but like the simulation predicts that Tottenham are going to beat us 2-1. I don't think that's going to be the case. I actually think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be a 1-0 or maybe a 2-2. For some reason, I think that even though Tottenham have won 3 in their last 5, I still think that like they've got a bad performance in them. And I sort of agree with what Roy Keane said on Sky Sports, that, other than Kane and Son, who are world class, they don't really have anyone that's like as good as Thomas Partey or as good as Saka, or like, I wouldn't necessarily say that, I don't know, Højbjerg is as good as Thomas Partey. Like, Højbjerg is good, but he's not Thomas Partey. Like, Thomas Partey has consistently performed in big games for Atletico Madrid for years. Højbjerg has been one of the standout players alongside James Ward-Prowse at Southampton. So it's not an open and shut case. Because I know there's a lot of people now, especially Tottenham fans, that say, "Oh, anyone from our team would get into your team," and I'm like, well, not really. I mean, Eric Lamela, average. Yeah, Giovanni Lo Celso, average. Lucas Moura is only good in the dying minutes of a game, really. Like, he's okay. Other than what he did against Ajax in the Champions League semi-final, for me, I've watched a few Tottenham games since then, and I haven't really seen anything to make me think that, sorry, microphone just went there. I haven't really seen anything to make me think, oh yeah, this guy's amazing. Like, the only 2 players which I can hold my hands up and say, even as an Arsenal fan, I can hold up my hands up and say these players are world class, are Heung-min Son and Harry Kane. That's it. I mean, Hugo Lloris, he was a good keeper at one point, but I wouldn't say he's as amazing as he was. I think their defence is okay. Their defence is definitely better than ours, even with Serge Aurier, who's a bit of a nutter. I think he is slightly better than Bellerin. I think he is probably better than Cedric. So I don't think. I think Reguilon and Tierney are probably about the same. Reguilon I like. I think Reguilon is actually quite good. And then Davinson Sanchez and Alderweireld, you can't really say too much. Like, he is a really good central defender. I actually believe that Davinson Sanchez is probably as good as like David Luiz at this current stage. Alderweireld probably is slightly better than Gabriel if we're talking about like our best defenders in bunny years. So yeah, I don't necessarily believe that their squad is 10 times better than ours. Like, you could argue that Manchester United's squad is 10 times better than ours, or not 10 times better, but better than ours at least. So, you know, like, I still think they've got a bad performance in them. I don't think they're as good as they were under Pochettino, put it that way. Like, I think they're a bit more boring to watch now under Mourinho. Yeah, they're a bit more typical Mourinho football. Score one goal, and try and park the bus, and catch on the counter-attack to score more, basically. It's essentially Mourinho's philosophy, and I don't think Mourinho suits them. And I mean, there's a friend of mine where I work that supports Tottenham, and he said that he just feels the way the whole Daniel Levy dealt with the whole Pochettino-Mourinho thing is just not right. I understand from a business point of view why Daniel Levy brought in Mourinho, because it's like, I can imagine he was probably thinking, I'm sick and tired of people thinking that Spurs don't win anything. I want them to win something. I'm going to bring in Jose Mourinho, which is fair enough. But at the same time, like, I don't think he's going to, like, the first season, he didn't win anything. Like, they could go on and win the League Cup, but they're playing Manchester City, who it's like their specialty to win the League Cup. So, who knows? They're still in the Europa League. I don't think they've got much chance of getting into the top four now. It's crazy, you know. I've never necessarily believed that like they're better than us in terms of like current form. You know, like, we've been slipping down the table and slipping down and bringing, you know, consistently playing poorly probably since about 2000. Well. Yeah, probably since about 2008, we've been inconsistent, you know. And that's the difference between us and Tottenham at this moment in time, is that they've been more consistent. But, you know, and the history books will say during this period of time between, let's say, 2017 and 2021, they will say Tottenham's better, which on paper they are. But they're not, you know, they're not the bigger club, and they haven't won anything to say that they're even rivaling us. You know, they're just good at the moment. As soon as they lose Kane and Son, they'll go back to being average again. I sound like a proper bitter Arsenal fan, don't I? But yeah, it's interesting. But like I say, I think it will be a draw. I think I'm going to go with 1-1. I don't know, for some reason I feel as if I'm so kind of despondent to thinking that Arsenal are going to win most of the time. It's just because, like, I never know what team's going to turn up, you know. But then again, I went into the Man United game at Old Trafford this season thinking that we're not going to get anywhere, that we're probably going to get battered, and we got out of there with a 1-0 win. And yes, we only scored from a penalty. We still, like, dominated them, really. And then the game at the Emirates, where again I sort of thought Man United are in good form, like, it's going to be really tough. Like, they never did anything to us. It's just that we were crap in the final third and they were crap in the final third. But I'd say that on balance, we dominated that game as well. And we got out of there with a good 0-0 draw. I mean, I know a draw isn't good, really, because it's normally 2 points dropped. But still, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think it'll be 1-1, just because I can't predict what Arsenal's going to turn up, and I can see a mistake happening. I can see a penalty being given away. I can see a situation whereby we'll be 1-0 up for most of the game, and then we give away a penalty towards the end of the game, and it will finish 1-1 or something like that. It's more on them to kind of perform and win the game than us, I believe. So that might work in our favour. Because similar to Man United, we only seem to play well when the pressure's off in the league anyway. So maybe, because that's the thing, they've still got a shout of getting into the Europa League, or definitely getting into the Europa League. So they will probably try and go for it a lot more. So hopefully we can take advantage of that and win the game. But I'm just going to be conservative about it and just be like, yeah, it's 1-1. I think it's going to be 1-1. In terms of the lineup, difficult one. Some of the changes that he made on Thursday kind of makes me think that he's thinking about playing the exact same team. So I think Bellerin is going to come back in at right back. I'd like to think that Gabriel is probably going to come in alongside David Luiz. I can't see Pablo Mari playing again. Saka will stay in, Ødegaard will stay in. I actually think, unfortunately, Willian will probably... I say unfortunately, he's been playing well recently. That's me being indoctrinated by the Arsenal social media. But if you don't believe that Willian is crap, then you're not a proper Arsenal fan. Daft. Anyway, so I think Willian will probably stay in, even though I'd like to see Pepe. I think Pepe looked bright when he came on Thursday. He didn't do much. Like, I gave him a 5 in the review, but I don't think he was terrible. He was just kind of like, he wasn't on enough to do anything really, because both of the goals we got didn't come from anything he did. Xhaka and Partey will obviously be in the centre, and I can't see Aubameyang being replaced by Lacazette. Like I said, I feel like Arteta doesn't... I don't think it's that he doesn't rate him. I just think I think he sees him as a player that doesn't start. And to be fair, like, I think with... I mean, it's hard to say because Aubameyang hasn't started well this season, but I think in general, in fact, when Lacazette first came in, apart from the fact he scored on his first game, that game against Leicester at the Emirates, the 4-3, he scored in, like, I don't know, the second minute or something like that, off of a header. I think since then he's had this kind of up and down thing that when he starts games, he's either in it from the start, or, like, if he's not in it from the first 10 minutes, he's anonymous, basically. And I think that's the problem with both our strikers to some extent. If Aubameyang isn't in it from the first couple of minutes, first 10-15 minutes, you won't see him for the whole game. And I think that's been our biggest problem this season, is that because both of our strikers haven't been firing, and the only other backup we have is Eddie Nketiah, and I like Eddie Nketiah. I think he's a good young player, but he's not, you know, he's not someone that you look to go, if I want to win the game. I think Robbie from AFTV said this. If I want to win the game, I'm not going to be looking at Eddie Nketiah thinking he's gonna come on and score me a winner. He might do, because, you know, when he made his debut against Norwich in the FA Cup a couple of seasons back, he came on and scored 2 goals, you know. So, but lightning doesn't strike twice. If he's on the bench on tomorrow, he might come on. If he's on the bench, he might come on and score a goal and put egg on my face. But who knows? But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting game. Anyway, I think that's it. Enjoy the FIFA simulation that I've done. If you like this video, give it a like and give me a subscribe. I'm only on 11 subscribers at the moment. I'd like to try and get to at least 20 by the end of the summer. So the summer here in the UK would probably be like by the end of August, early September, because I know this is a long journey. When you start this thing, you're not gonna be AFTV and get thousands of subscriptions overnight because of a viral video. I don't think I'm ever gonna get to a point where I'm getting a viral video and getting thousands of subscribers a day. But, you know, we move forward. Anyway, I will speak to you after the game tomorrow. Hopefully, in a good mood that we've beaten Spurs. But yeah, we'll see. Until then, take care, stay safe. This is Deepeye signing out.
In the world don't really have to think about it, they just do it.
Well, here it is again. It's all about the pace in transition. They were so quick to get out from the back, and he had choices of what type of finish to apply, and bang, he goes for the smash. Lovely goal.
So 2-0 now.
Tottenham Hotspur goal, number 20, Gary Allen.
And 5 minutes to go. Son. Kane. Dele Alli. Is it going to be? Couldn't grab hold of it. Well, that's the end of that for now. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Could pull one back here, which he does! And maybe, just maybe, there's enough time for an equaliser. It would be quite the frenetic turnaround.
Well, here's the replay, and it's a lovely, quick counter-attack that sets up the chance. But you do have to ask questions about the keeper. Could he have done better here? I think so. You can't keep getting beat at the near post like that.
And with play stopped, they will make the change now. Well, as they kick off again, 2-1 the current state of affairs. Well, wait, don't go anywhere. We're going to have 5 additional minutes. We have entered the final minute of normal time. And that's an important intervention. The clock is against Arsenal, but what can they pull out of the fire here? Crossing into the middle. That ball was put into the right area, but no one able to capitalise. And there goes the full-time whistle. And I think you can hear at home what the fans are thinking. Still seething following the issuing of the red card. And they're not happy about the result either.
Well, they can shout all they want, but it's just indiscipline from the player. It really is a poor decision from him. Referee, not really much choice. Sending him off, red card. Frustrating day at the office.
Well, this game should offer plenty. Arsenal get it going. And the referee decided that intervention was illegal and cautionable.
Oh, without question, it was not...
Well, the danger is still there. Wide of the target, and he's going to be disappointed.
Disappointed? Wow, it's a shocker. He should be doing a lot better than that.
Here's Kane. Can he put them in front? Well, it was a wonderful chance, but the goalkeeper comes through.
Well, he's done really well with his...
Might go ahead. Well, he saw the whites of the keeper's eyes and the whites of his outstretched gloves. Great goalkeeping.
Well, he's denied a certain goal.
And attempting the through ball. He just needs to stay level-headed now. Aubameyang. He's not the shy, retiring type on the pitch, Davinson Sanchez, and he's been booked.
No, definite yellow card.
Decided to come in from the flank. Well, the penalty kick given, and it could have been a straight red card, but the referee had shown the yellow card. And a goal! He was composure personified, and he's done his job from the spot. And Spurs moving the ball with purpose. No accuracy at all in terms of the shot unleashed.
Well, it's the care and attention, all that work to get in the position and then wait.
He's in behind. And the scorer, Dele Alli. And it's fair to say the best finishers in the world don't really have to think of it. Could pull one back here. Which he does! And maybe, just maybe, there's enough time for an equaliser. It would be quite the front.